Hey everyone, it's Yvonne Emile Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. And we have the Pisces New Moon, Sunday, March the 3rd at 4 a.m. And so I wanted to share the ins and outs of what this energy could be like, and maybe, how you could use it for some spiritual development, or if you just want to just know how to get through the next few days. Let's dive into this Pisces New Moon. Now, as usual, I'm going to show you the chart. I really like showing you the chart because I'm very naturally like a teacher. And so I like to teach you what you're looking at because, especially with astrology, it can be a little bit challenging. All right, so here we go. Here is the Pisces New Moon. It's at 20 degrees, 17 minutes, and it is in Pisces. Now, there's a couple of things that are important with this new moon. Okay, so let me just get that back in there. Okay, so you will notice that we have the sun and the moon. So here's the moon. Okay, now between the moon, we have Saturn, not between, we have the moon between Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Now, Mercury right here, this little guy right here, he's actually already in Aries. So he doesn't really have a lot to say right now. But when the moon or any planet is between two planets, okay, as the moon is, it's besieged, right? Which means that it's feeling pressure from this planet, Saturn, and it's feeling pressure from this planet, Neptune. So I want to really talk about that because that's really important, in my opinion, and it's going to really show up, in in the essence of this new moon. Okay, so let's talk about the new moon. New moons are always a time for setting intention. It's the beginning of the lunar month, as always. So it is a really great time to set your intentions for what it is that you want to manifest, what you want to work on. But the moon is dark, right? So for me, this isn't a great time to do energy work or witchy woo-woo, magic woo-woo, energy work. I feel that we need some light from the moon in order to be able to see clearly, right? So the dark moon, okay, aka the new moon, represents more of the subconscious, more of the internal, more shadow, right? So shadow work is really great during this time. Repressed, you know, um, memories can come up during this time as well, or it's good to work on those repressed feelings during this time. Yes, I know. Julie is going to like say, I told you so, but yeah, she did. So we're working on repressed stuff, right? We're working on inner child stuff. Okay. Inner child stuff also pertains to the new moon. Okay. So anyhow, this is a great time to go within and take a look and do the work do the work internally as opposed to externally when the moon is full. So with that being said, let's talk about Pisces energy. Okay, so Pisces is mutable water. Water represents emotions. Okay, so Piscean energy is very dreamy. It's very ethereal, compassionate, psychic. Right? There's this essence of like just healing type of water, emotional energy. Now, because water doesn't contain itself naturally, like water doesn't say, hey, I'm going to stop here. Okay. There is the need for water to have some sort of boundary. And this is where Piscean energy can struggle because Pisces is mutable water, which means that it likes to move, right? It likes to be free flowing. It doesn't like to be contained. Okay. So with this beautiful Piscean moon, there is the essence of, being more in your emotional feels. Okay. Now, Piscean energy can be emotionally unstable. Okay. I think if I tell Pisces that they're emotionally unstable, that's going to offend them. So that's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to say emotionally inconsistent. There we go. Okay. So in other words, they're moody. That moves around. Those emotions move around. And so it can make the energy more moody and inconsistent. Okay. And that's what you might feel during this new moon. You might feel that those emotions are starting to come up. Okay. And they may be pulling you one way or another. And that's mostly because of this Saturn pull. Saturn represents the physical manifestation, concreteness, foundation, structure, hardness, constriction, okay? And Neptune represents everything opposite of that, okay? So whereas Saturn represents the physical manifestation Neptune represents the metaphysical or spiritual manifestation. It doesn't contain, it's not grounded. It represents, illusion, delusion, everything outside of our physical experience. So with this new moon in Pisces, you might be feeling, okay, the need to contend with what's actually real versus what's not real. What's reality and what's not reality, especially when it comes to your feelings and how those feelings maybe are associated with some of the thoughts that you're having, right? So sometimes we need to, sit and ask ourselves, okay, is what I'm thinking actually real, or is this me kind of making it up? Right? Do I need to be more hard on myself and concrete? Okay. Do I need to be more disciplined, or do I need to be more spiritual and, open and relaxed and just go with the flow? So there's this Piscean moon is going to struggle. It's besieged. It's going to struggle emotionally between Saturn and Neptune. Do I go, reality, okay, manifestation, okay, real, concrete, or do I allow myself to go dreamy and spiritual and, ethereal? Okay, so there's going to be this pull. But I also feel that during this time, if you're doing the inner work, which yes, I'm working on, Julie, okay, she's my conscience, right? Like, and in my phone, I literally have her down as my conscience. Okay, if I dive into that inner shadow work, I am going to be asked, what is real versus what is fantasy? What is real versus what is your mind just portraying as, being real, right? And that's up to each and every one of us to figure out. So I feel that this new moon is going to be maybe a little bit of a pressure cooker for our emotions, again, swinging back and forth. And it's crazy because I've had a few people, including myself, the last few days, especially last night, had some really vivid, weird dreams. And so you will see that during Piscean new moons, right? Piscean full moons and new moons, where we might be a little bit more in tune to some of those more out of the box kind of, dreams, maybe a little bit more psychic, maybe a little bit more prophetic, or just more insightful, more vivid, more weird. Okay. Well, I don't know how else to say it. So anyhow, that's what I feel this new moon is going to entail. So how can we use this full moon? Shadow work is really good. And I know I've really been pushing back on my sweet conscience, Julie, but I know shadow work is important, right? Looking within, tapping into the subconscious, doing any sort of hypnotherapy, maybe around this time period. Visualization can also be really great. Doing spiritual connecting with your sense of emotion. Okay. And just really tapping into what is real versus what's not real, right? So if you're maybe struggling with something in your life and this is a great time to say, okay, what is actually happening? Like, what is reality versus what is making me feel like this is reality? On the opposite end, maybe it's time to put into, taking an idea or a project or a feeling and turning it into a physical reality. Okay, so it goes both ways, right? You can have this beautiful, artistic endeavor, right? Or inspiration to do something. And how do you make that manifest, right? So it could go either way, depending on what you're feeling. So anyhow, yeah, light a candle, write yourself a little note, real, not real. Okay. And well, let's see what side you're balancing on. Okay. The astrology does start to get a little bit more crunchy after this new moon, because this new moon is going to be an activator. I will share more about the astrology in future videos for the remainder of March. And then April, as we move into Mercury retrograde and Aries, is going to be in there 2 months. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then it just, it goes on from there. So let's find some peace. Okay. This is truly about finding peace within. If anything, this moon is going to be about finding that center of peace. And that's been my mantra lately, is find your center of peace. It's in there somewhere. It's in there somewhere. Find your center of peace. All right, everyone, take care. Blessed be kind to each other, but mostly be kind to yourselves. Learning that. All right, everyone, take care. Blessed be. Oh, wait. If you want to learn more about your astrology, I always forget this part. You can find me at silvermooncounseling.org. That is silvermooncounseling.org. If you want to learn more about your chart, come find me. All right, that's it. Take care. Blessed be.